Last week on Doz's Television Workshop, a volume knob that's in a wibbly wobbly world of its own. We've got a broken turntable hinge on the lid. Not sure what I can do with that. Obviously we've got two orphan tape doors. Chances of getting those? Maybe somebody's got a parts unit somewhere and we'll get lucky. Maybe not. But its main issue is right at the minute it won't power up. Because we're missing connectors. Well, there it is. Hideous, and I've got to work out how to mount all this up onto the back panel yet, but it's got a chance. Whew, right, okay. Have I got something wrong? Have we genuinely got yet another fault? Let's go and see on the internet if I can find any information about any of this system at all. I think we need to, obviously the power supply is in the amplifier, so I think that's the first thing to check. So it's an JVC E78. Let's go and have a look at that.
And now it's time for the latest exciting episode of Doz's Television Workshop.
Okay, I've made a bit of progress. I have found a service manual for the amplifier. And the only way I could get it to come on was actually to program the timer on the clock. And now it's on, it is staying on. I don't, however, have any sound. We've got some crackling on the volume pot, so that's something. But I can't select any sources on here other than tuner, which doesn't appear to be working. Can't switch it on or off. But this active bass extension button here appears to be stuck. And I wonder if that's the root cause of our problem here. So I'm just going to disconnect all this again. And yeah, take that out and have a look-see and see if that's part of our problem. Yeah, we could still have a fault somewhere in my wiring or, you know, anywhere else for that matter. Just going to pop that out of the way a bit. Just disconnect the aerial for a second. Yeah, so I'm just going to liberate this front panel and take that apart and have a look in there. So we've got a screw there. There we are. About 10mm long. Coarse-ish thread as usual. Where's my pot of parts gone? Let's move these two other units out of the way just for a moment. Ah, there's my pot of parts. My theory is if the front panel is being scanned, which I'd imagine it would be, then, you know, if we've got a problem with one of the keys locking up, then it would probably prevent operation. How much of this do I have to disconnect? I'd rather disconnect as little as possible. This is from the headphone socket, and that's easily doable. Not so much the volume control. We did put that right to start with, didn't we? Ah, it's got a wiring harness type thing there. Let's pop that out. What's hold us up? Nothing. Alright. Yeah, we're going to have to do something with this volume control here. So, one there, couple of ribbons to the front panel there and there. And we're free. Right, how do we get the front panel off? Lots of screws. One more there. No, that's not it. Ah, do we have to pull the knobs off? I bet we do. There we go. At least the start. Oh, more broken plastics. It's had a hard life, hasn't it? There it is. Okay. Power switch is over here, and our base switch is over there, which appears to be all right. So why is that latched up? Because it's broken, and also there's a hairpin stuck in it. Right, let's just hoover out this fluff. That's a little bit better. Right, is it all these bits of broken plastic? So what's going on with this button here? No, it isn't actually broken. ABX, Active Base Extension. So why wasn't that pushing on the button? Had we just come out because we've broken that pillar off there, do we think? Wasn't quite holding it in place. I think we need to lose that anyway, because it might be holding the panel in the wrong position. Let's mount that back in and see if that's going to work. Yeah, you see that's now clicking nicely. I reckon that was a hair grip or some of the Stutch foreign body preventing the thing from working. Right, let's put it back together. Both buttons, active base extension, clicking nicely. Let's see if that's solved our little problem. Pop it all back together. Okay, we are back up together. Let's bring those other two units in and see what happens. Okay, we're powered up because it... Oh, yes! We are now going in and out of standby correctly. Still got no sound from our tuner. Let's see if we get any sound from an external input. Okay, we've got some music playing on Old Faithful, which is on the VCR DAT. Should have a click relay, there we go. Put that on. Oh, we've got graphic equalizer doing things. Ah! So that's good, we've actually got it working. Interesting, we've got a graphic equalizer as well as individual tone controls. A strange way of going about things. Right, so what's going on with the tuner? It's possible that I've just got not enough aerial in here. So let's conjure up a piece of wire or something on the end of a connector and see if that brings anything in. we have got some sort of VHF reception occurring intermittently. Yeah, I think that's actually working. It's just got a muting circuit in there that's very fussy, and we haven't got much of an antenna. You know, I'm just using a length of croc clip lead there. So we've got something that's working. Crikey. Yeah, I'm going to go and have a cup of tea to celebrate. Okay, so the tuner problem was just bad signal. So that's good news. I've got it working properly now, so let's get the CD player in bits and see what's going on in here. I haven't tried it yet, but I just want to give it every chance, so we'll just give it a little clean up and see if it wants for anything. Okay, let's just have a little look. Oh, it's quite clean in there, isn't it? A little bit of fluff and an errant label. Made short work of that. Okay, so JVC DD converter. Double diamond? Dunno. Right. Let's plug it into our amplifier as best we can. I think it's that bottom slot there. Right, power back up and see what happens. Well, we're all lit up. We appear to have a slipping sled belt. No real surprise there, was it? And it's right down in there, so we're going to have to remove the drawer. Okay, let's go back into eject and just take the power off and work out if we've got a sled release or we've got something else. Oh, there's a screw with an arrow by it. Does that mean we want to be removing that screw? I can't say I've seen that before. Just gently ease it out the way and see what happens. If you look at that, it's like a release for the sled. I wonder if that's what stops it from... It's just a long screw. Look, it taps in and then obviously hits against detent. So that's nice and easy. What isn't quite so nice and easy is access to that belt. Let's see if we can squeeze it out. We've got a piece of plastic above. Let's see if we can't just squeeze it out. I think we might be lucky. We are lucky. So we're looking for a belt that's like that, but not oval. Right. Oh, that looks to be the one. Gonna really struggle to fit that in under the slide mech there. How much work is it to get it out? We've got two belts, or is that gear driven? No, that's gear driven. It's two screws. There's one retaining one under there and one there. How does this mechanism come apart? Let me just slide that out of there for a second. This looks to be just on two catches. Maybe not. Ah, two screws. Okay. Let's just take that apart. Remove the disc clamp. Oh, that's got a lot better access to that now. See that lens is looking a bit cloudy as well. We'll give that a birthday in a second. This retaining clip needs to just come out. Retaining screw. That'll allow us enough access there to slip the belt under. Let's just check that's going to operate nicely. Certainly feels better. Well, might have been better if I'd have stuck the end stop back in, wouldn't it? Perfect. Right, let's just clean those optics up a little bit. A little non-alcohol based cleaner. It's Mr. Muscle Window Cleaner, which is my favourite. And I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you can just see how nice and shiny that laser now is. Right, let's go and get a CD and see if it plays. I choose the Sunday Club's Tech Nostalgia. Plug back in. I'm going to need to reinstate the disc clamp. Power going back on. Table of contents read nice and quickly. Made the right kind of noises as well. Let's press play. Yep, that is playing beautifully. Let's just skip through the tracks, check it skips quickly. Straight to track 11. Perfect. That is making the right kind of noises. You get the feel of it. It's weird. When you've been doing CD players perhaps for as long as I have, you know the sort of noises they should be making when the servo interacts with the motor and the laser, when they're reading well and when they're reading badly. But yep, no, that's perfect. Right, two things left to do, the cassette deck and the turntable. It's a little interesting thing to know. This is a CD player. And on the back of it, it says stereo receiver model number DXE 78BK. Why does it say that, not CD player? Interesting. Not that interesting. I'm just going to put that out of the way for a minute. And let's have a look at the cassette deck, which I've got sneaking suspicion has got 2/3 of a dog in it. Yeah, look at the stuff down in there. Right, let's get it in bits and see what it's going to want. Doesn't look too shabby inside. Again, we've got a bit of fluff going on. What's that? Looks like a bit of a fingernail extension or something. Good lord. Right, okay. Yeah, let's get the hoover in. Oh, it's made a start on it. It's very unpleasant in there. Let's plug it in, see what we get. Right. I've got no display. And no functions. So our tape is utterly dead. Have I got it in the right plug? Don't think you can get it in the wrong one. Connector A, yeah. That is connector A. So we have something inherently wrong with our cassette deck. So I suppose the first thing to look at is probably power coming in. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to trace power back from the amplifier, because I've got the schematic for that. Okay, so I do have a list of voltages on there, so I think probably the first thing to do is to cast our eye over those. Whoops. So I've got power on. The first is on pin 4, which shows 12 volts. So I'd imagine most of it runs off 12 volts. So let's see if we can't find something that refers to pin 4 on here, or maybe I can get on pin 4. I don't think my probe's making that journey. Let me just find a narrower probe. Right, out with my needle probe, and I just want to get on pin 4, which is plus 12 volts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 13.25, close enough for government work. What else have we got on that connector? Plus 5 volts on pin 6. Pin 6, 5.76 volts. Again, that'll do. Minus 12 on pin 7 and then plus 10. 3, 4, 5. So 6. It's pin 7. It's 5 volts. It's DC 5, and we've got minus 12. Yep. And plus 10. Yep. Okay. What else we got? Minus BP, third from the end, which is sort of showing it being minus 30 volts. It is minus 30 volts. I wonder if that's the HT rail for the fluorescent display. And then we've got 2 more. which is showing as minus 22 volts. Significant by their absence. Now, they are shown as being supplied via 2 fusible resistors on the amplifier, so we may wish to look at those in a minute, but most of it's going, so we'd expect to see the display or something, surely. But I've got precisely nothing. Yeah, interesting. Right, so let's find those 2 fusible resistors on the amplifier chassis. They are, oh, it's a bit blurry, are F1 and F2 rails, both 18 ohms, and R9 and R10. So let's see if we can find those quickly on here. R4, R9 and R10, I can see them there. So what have I got on this end? Minus 13 volts, minus 13 volts, minus 13, minus 13. So why is that not making its way down to here? Because it isn't. Have we got an open circuit lead type problem? Maybe I'm not quite just connecting up on the connector properly. Let's get a bit stabbier with it. No, it appears to be there. All right. Let's just have a look continuity wise and see if we've got continuity to either of those 2 resistors. No, I haven't. I do wonder if that's an issue or not. Whoops. So it is on the other end, pin 1, which is up this end, so we can get on that and measure it, see if we have continuity there. Which we do. Oh. So that means it's in our connector somewhere that it's going missing. Have we got a faulty connector? Has that, at some stage in its life, been damaged? Oh, that could be catastrophic, couldn't it? Yeah. There it is. A broken wire. Oh God, how on earth am I going to make good with that? Unless I can get this connector apart and remake the IDC bit of it. Yeah, that's not the easiest job in the world, is it? Okay. Any marks on how to get this apart? What I'm just going to do before I go anywhere is mark pin 1, so I know. In fact, I'm going to do something naughty and just put a spot on this end. That is pin 1. got it apart. And there are my 2 broken wires. That is outstandingly good news. As long as I can peel all this out. Oh, no, 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 no. We're taking the pins with us. That's not such good news. Oh. Okay, that's the connector back together. We're going to have to lock the end off this lead very slightly. Okay, let's get the pan of ice back together, and hopefully this will just go and reassemble successfully without any problems. Let us see what that's done for us. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a vacuum display and precious little else, but let's probably needs to see a cassette or something first. Let's find a cassette quickly, just put it in and try fast forward and rewind before we go mad. We have nothing. And we have nothing. What have I got missing now, do we think? So, back on the voltage DC. I'm just going to have another quick look around that connector. There was a motor supply voltage on one of those pins. So pin 4 is our first. 4 should be 12 volts. 1.2 volts. What have we got up at this end? One, two, three, 4. 1.6 volts. That doesn't read very well, does it? Yeah, that 12 volt rail is now missing. My plug is coming apart here. Yeah, this is not seated correctly at all. Let me just cast my eye over that. I think we may have damaged things. I don't know, it all looks okay. I think what's holding it up here is the actual retainer part. Has a lip on the back of it so the insulation doesn't poke out, and I think what's happening there is that is causing us problems. So if I trim that off, I think we'll be alright. Yeah, I think we can now crimp that up a bit more. That looks better now, so let's try again. Counter now looks much improved. Fast forward, got rewind. I've got fast forward, got rewind. The cassette counter and everything is working. Do I dare press play? Never gets that far. And then it stops. See what this one does. I mean, it all wants serious cleaning up. That one works. I appear to have playback. I have playback. And auto reverse and everything. Oh. Okay. So it's just this one that's not functioning. Do you know what? We've got one cassette deck going. What's the betting? We call that a win. We've got a mode select motor. If I was to do belts on this, I mean, there's 2 or 3 hours work in itself. So I suspect that's what's happening. We've got a mode motor slipping somewhere. Yes, we have. How is that? I mean, its deck's out. Oh, it just started playing. We just got a sticky bit. Does it just need some encouragement? Yeah, I think we've got maybe a cleanliness issue. I don't know. I really couldn't say, but I'm going to clean those decks up and yeah, see what we can see. So IPA I need, which is in a can somewhere because I had it earlier. Oh, I should go with a bit out of the bottle. I mean, we could hear the thing is at best massively out of line because there was no top end to that Spectrum recording. Not that there might have been. That was I don't know what I'd recorded on that on. One of the recent ZX Spectrum Plus videos, I think. Let's try that again now. It's more dust than anything else, really. That's certainly a bit better. Sounding a bit better anyway. What about this side? That side is now working. It was just clogged up with dust. Would you believe it? That's fabulous news, isn't it? So I'm going to box that back up because I'm not that fussed about it anymore. It's working and that's good enough for me for this. I am not going to go mad with it. So we've got that lead repaired. Obviously we've got to sort out that now as our next priority. Oh, there is a turntable to repair as well, so I can't imagine there being much wrong with that. Maybe a belt, maybe a stylus, but that's fairly straightforward to do, isn't it? So I think the next thing to do is to worry about this mess of adapters that we've made up here on the main unit and see if we can't come up with some sort of mounting solution for that. Right. Okay, I've 3D printed out a couple of sort of mounting stroke spacer doohickeys that I'm going to use to mount these connectors up. So what I first want to do is I want to cut myself a length of this foam tape just to go round the edge of there. The idea is that is going to slot in like that, and the foam tape is just going to keep it all from chafing on the remaining metal bar there, and that'll do us. So yeah, so I just want to really, I suppose I could just stick it to the bit of the ribbon cable that's going to be affected. That's probably the most easy way to do it. Where are my scissors? Whether these will cut the mustard or not, or cut the tape for that matter. Well, it used to be about there. It worked quite well. I'll stick that onto the bottom of my ribbon. Yeah, it's going to work great. Then this should fit in the hole and hold everything still. Yeah. And then we just pop a screw in there. I just wonder if we can put a bit of tape on the top actually. Let's have a little go at that. Just gives it a bit of a cushion in there, so that's quite good. They were pink screws in there. Yeah, it's not going anywhere now. Pleased with that. So I'm going to do the same with the top ribbon. There we go. Well, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but at least it works now. So that's good. I think the next thing to do is get the turntable in here and see how bad that is. Right, we've got very broken hinges. Or is it just one broken hinge? It is just one broken hinge. But this one is so damaged. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do anything with that. I've got a record on it. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Yeah, that's even more scratched than the dulcet tones of Sydney Divine. But let's pop that down there for a second. And we appear to be missing our rubber mat. And that centre clip is about to go west. Let's push that on. Yeah, okay. I think this has been a little bit got at in its life, hasn't it? Okay, we've got a 12 volt output. We have. We've got a couple of phono inputs somewhere. Let's hook up the necessary bits and pieces here. Switch on. And we have selected phono. Ooh, we're running. Have we got any action from the stylus? Oh my goodness, the whole cartridge has come apart. This is looking to be a P-mount stylus. And oh, you can see that on camera, but the stylus is physically missing. Oh, okay. Slide the P-mount cart back in. So I'm going to need to go and get a stylus from somewhere. Looks a bit 80. I wonder if it's the same as an 80, whatever it is. Let me go and have a look in my box. Right, I have got a new old stock 1891. I reckon that is. I reckon that's an 1891, you know. It's absolutely identical. Well, that's a dab hand, isn't it? There's the problem with these things. I can't see to get the stylus to click into the mounting. I wonder how much of this has been damaged. Oh, that made an encouraging noise. So we've got the stop mechanism to fit. Let's just get old Sydney down. Excellent. And give him a play and see if he's any good or not. Yeah, we definitely need a mat in there, don't we? Yeah, we're going to go nowhere without a mat. Right. Now, didn't I have a 7-inch mat? Now, this was a bit of a reject experiment-wise, but if that does the job, it does the job. Do we have some tracking issues? We do, because the arm is not being fully released by the queuing lever. That needs to be adjusted down by the look of it. Ah, is it full of fluff? It's not helped by being full of fluff. Let's see if we can't adjust that a little bit. Still not right by a long way. I'm just wondering if this P-mount cartridge is alright or not. Let's try that. Sounds pretty awful to me. Right. I'm just going to pull the power for a minute. We'll just switch into standby maybe. Will that stop us? It will stop us. Right, let's put Sydney down there for a second and work out what on earth is going on here. That does sound terrible. Well, our stylus is locked in. Any way we can remove this arm tube without going mad? Nope, but we can get at the cartridge. Alrighty. Now, will an 1895 fit in there minus its housing? So can we take the cartridge out of the body using that little screw? I think it's the same, you know. That might get us out of a problem, mightn't it? Right, let's just take the mounting off. Would you look at that? It's the same thing. So that's a bit of a result. So I'll take my stylus back off there. And just swap all this wiring round. Just a sort of friction fit in there. Rather unpleasant to say the least. Right. Sydney Doodah. Power going on. Oh, didn't like that much. It thinks the record's ended. Okay, so whilst we now have some semblance of sound quality thanks to a new stylus and cartridge, what we are missing is, I don't think it's sort of working properly really, so power's going off again. Let's see if we can't find out what's going on with the mechanism. So we're going to hook the belt off. At least we know the belt's alright. Shoot the turntable clip into hyperspace. Oh, no, we've got that quite safely, and just remove the platter. And yeah, we got the usual BSR kind of pawl in there. They all much work the same, it must be said. So, what is happening there? Why is this pulling over too soon? Oh yeah, it's going very early. Okay. Right, I wonder if that lever there is somehow misaligned on the bottom of the arm. Okay, I'm just going to pop a blob of blue tack under the arm just to secure it in place, because I think we're going to need to get in the bottom here. Yeah. This is all horribly misaligned. There's our power off switch, so that should currently be off, shouldn't it? And it isn't. Hence that pull, this round thing is striking that lever too early and taking us out. So this is all misaligned. Right, okay. So we need to slacken that off. Oh, which is easier said than done. Bring that round, so that is now off. I reckon about there. Let's tighten that back up. See if that provides a cure. Right, mains power going on. It's not spinning. That's a result. See if it starts when it should. Sort of. See if it switches off now when it goes back. So we do need to adjust it a little bit. Okay, we made progress. Let's see when it finishes now. So it needs to start a little bit earlier. Needs to finish a bit earlier as well. Okay. We have made a start, which is all we can hope for. And that armrest does need to come up a little bit more. Right. Back apart. Starts up in about the right place now. Let's see what it does at the end. So it needs to trip off slightly earlier. Okay. And I do need to raise that arm up very slightly. Let's just do that now. I think I can just adjust this from down here with this screw there, so that needs to, this needs to trip slightly earlier, so we want to wind that screw out very slightly. Is that what that hole's there for? It is. So that needs to come out, yeah, out slightly because it's pulling against that spring. Alright, that's a whole turn. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, we're away. I appear to have inadvertently just done something, haven't I? Okay, hang on. Power going on. I think the paul's tripped. Yep. Okay. Right. So we know it's all right at the start. There we go. Perfect. Lovely. This isn't sitting square in the slot. The arm is catching every now and again. I wonder if it just needs to come in a little bit more. Let me hit the queuing button. I reckon that shouldn't be that far out of the slot. Or it's been broken at some stage here and there's a pin missing off it. I think we can get away with that if we just lower it down a bit more. Try that. Still playing. Try it at the end. Just need to make sure that when it returns it clears the armrest. Which it does. And that is now staying in the right position. Okay, that's good. Let's put the thing back into standby. There we go. And just drop a little bit of Loctite or nail varnish or something just to hold that alignment into position. I think nail varnish is probably a good idea. I choose Rimmel. 60 seconds. It's the best, you know. Right, I'm just going to let that dry because it's going to take more than 60 seconds, no matter what it says on the bottle. And then we've got to come back, reassemble it, give it a clean up, and pronounce it fit, I think. Right, I've managed to get the turntable up together. I managed to 3D print a bit of a hinge and fit that to this lid. I don't think this lid's its original because the one hinge that was on here doesn't fit the lid. So this was a bit of a prototype because I based that on the existing hinge, which turned out to be wrong. I've had to modify that hinge and made a new one, but well, we've got a lid that hinges now, so that is something. So next thing you do is just pop the bottom back on the turntable and yeah, move on to sorting out, just tidying up our extensions for the wiring is the next thing. I've got all the mechanism lined up now. Seems to finish at about the right place, starts when it is supposed to. So that's good, and that's all the adjustment around there I did actually yesterday. So let's get the lid back on here. There you go, that's the turntable finished. I am going to put it down out of the way for now and turn our mind back to the main unit. Let's put good old Sydney out of the way. Apparently my mate John has actually seen Sydney Divine in Scotland, I believe. So there you go. John's just sent me a bit of kit actually, so that'll be coming up in a forthcoming episode. Right, and the other thing I just want to address is these leads, because I just want to put some strain relief on here to stop them getting snagged or damaged. And to that end, I've been on the 3D printer again. I made myself some sort of U-channels here, and yeah, the idea is that's going to sit in there like that. I'm going to stick the lid on just with a bit of tape, tape up the one end and then backfill the whole shooting match with a bit of rubber. I made a slightly bigger one for this lead here. So yeah, just to give that some sort of resilience against getting tugged or whatever, or becoming damaged. I think that's the best thing we can hope for there. So yeah, a bit of tape. Let's make that happen. It's bound to ooze out anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to somehow suspend that from up here, probably on crop clips, because we've done that before, and then just backfill it. Let's put some of this underneath because it's bound to ooze out at some stage. Right, I've got a bit of Dow 734. Let's just fill my syringe up. Right, well, I'm just back from the MVCF actually, and these have taken a few days. I've given them to dry, and I think that's come out quite well. This rubber will peel off if I'm bothered by it, but being as it's going to hide around the back, I think I'm fairly happy with that. And it's nice and secure, and it's not going to fall apart, which is the main thing. So they can get plugged back into there when I'm done. But yeah, for now, just box it back up and get it cleaned up and get it sent home. And there you have it, the JVC E78 faux separate system. I say it's an E78. There are two exceptions. That's an E78, that's an E78, that's an E98 SEA graphic equalizer with its little twiddly display. The amplifier's a 78. The CD player's an E78. The turntable is an E58. So whether it's a mismatch of bits and pieces from over the years, I'm not quite so sure. But anyway, it's all working now after 20 years in storage, so I can get that back to Kasha, and I'm sure she'll be enjoying listening to her music again soon. Doesn't sound too bad, and I'll tell you what, that was an impressive stack to have in your house in the 90s, wasn't it? Anyway, there you go. Thank you very much for watching. Click like, subscribe, do all that rubbish, and I'll see you very soon here on Dozzy's Television Workshop. Cheers now. Bye.
the speakers, feel the bass drop. Catch us high fidelity, we're ready to rock. After all this time, got the rhythm unlocked. Shining bright like stars, no reason to stop.
하나 둘 다시 시작해. 하나 둘 함께 위로 가. 이름이 든 닥쳐 화내줄 시간에 봐.
Yeah, we're back with the vibe, cash us groove on the line. After years in the dark, dance next to that spark.
하나 둘 춤춰. 하나 둘 셋 던져. 하나 둘 밝게 가요. Rewind the years like a nostalgia. That's fashion brand, watch the memories flow. It's just got the magic when you got the sound. Feel the heartbeat racing when it's the ground. 하나 둘게 하나 둘게
하나 둘 다시 나와. Together we rise where the music ignites. There's a Cassette taking us to new heights. Feel the energy rise as we move through the night. Cassette with symphony, everything feels right. Hands in the air, let the rhythm be our guide. Just turn it on, now we're living amplified. 하나 둘 같이가. 하나 둘 다 함께. 20 years gone, but the heart stays young. Melodies that go forever on sound.